The shit he was saying wasn't even funny, bruh. Fuck that. Anyway, bruh. We were fucking Matty Balls, bruh. Matty Balls always got bangers. So what's happening? We are Raps One Hit
The
Wonders
2010s
today.
were a great time in rap.
Ayo and Teo. Or is it Ayo and Teo? I don't know, bruh. But I remember that, boy. I just need a rolly with it. What? That was a time, but I won't lie.
And home to many great
Loki ahead of their time.
songs,
Low-key.
but it also produced a lot of one-hit wonders. Whether it's bangers like Uber Everywhere and Coco, or dance songs like Hit the
I'm in love with the Coco. Nah, that shit was fire, boy.
Quan and Juju on that beat. All of
Oh my god, this is gonna be nostalgic
these
as
tracks
fuck,
were
boy.
super viral. But now, many are wondering what happened to these artists. So today we're going to be looking into some of rap's forgotten one-hit wonders, starting off with OT Genesis. Real quick, I want to say, well, a lot of these guys were like true one-hit wonders. Some of them had like their hit song and then like maybe a couple other big ones, but in general, I think you could call them a one-hit wonder. And also, if you think anyone's missing, I've done plenty of one-hit wonder videos. I kind of have a series going, so if you're interested, check out the playlist that this is in after the video. And with that being said, let's continue. OT Genesis is best known for his 2014 hit single, Coco. But aside from maybe one or two other songs, most people haven't heard anything from him since. He was born in Atlanta but grew up in California, raised by his parents who moved to the US from Belize. In 2010, OT first started gaining some local traction following his somewhat successful song Touchdown. The song actually caught the eye of 50 Cent, who called OT himself to sign him to G-Unit. However, OT wasn't signed to like a traditional deal, and 50 only actually had him sign for that one song instead of like his whole career, which was pretty weird. So eventually he ended up signing to Busta Rhymes. OT though had no idea how an advance worked, so he blew through all of his money, and after a year with nothing to show for it, he was almost dropped by the label. And when his career was almost over, OT recorded and released a game changer, and that was his song Coco. The song with its famous chorus, "I'm in love with the Coco," dropped in 2014 and couldn't have come at a better time for OT. Coco peaked at 20 on the US Billboard Hot 100 and even went on to go double platinum. The song did so well that eventually he put out a remix
Double platinum crazy.
with Meek
I don't think I ever heard the remix, boy. I won't lie to you.
Mill and Jeezy. 2 days after he put out part 2, he actually put out a part 3 of the song with Chris Brown.
What the fuck? This fucking Old Town Road ass fucking song, boy.
So obviously,
Remember when fucking Lil Nas X fucking made like 4 different versions of that song with different features, bro? That shit was crazy. I won't lie, bro.
he was
The
milking
song
the
wasn't that good, bro.
track for everything he could, but I mean, it makes sense. It was his first big song. Even Lil Wayne remixed the song on his Sorry for the Wait 2 mixtape. Also, Pitbull, J Balvin, and a bunch of other EDM artists put out their own versions as well. Although I think Ed Sheeran's version might be the funniest.
I'm in love with the Coco.
While the song got remixed a ton by those in the music game, it eventually started to achieve the meme status as well. A big part of this was the Coco
What happened to Ed Sheeran, bro? He still made music, or it just hasn't dropped in a while.
trend on Vine.
I feel like that shit. People will know if Ed Sheeran is dropping. I won't lie.
Even Anthony Fantano and Filthy Frank parodied the song. And while it seemed like OT Genesis was on the fast track to be a one-hit wonder, he did put out one more big song, and that was Cut It with Young Dolph. Again, just like Coco, the song did very well and even went double platinum, although this ended up being his last platinum record. Following Cut It, only his 2016 song Push It made any type of waves. In his music career, OT never dropped an album, only releasing 4 mixtapes, which never really made it that big. And while he still continues to release singles to this day, they just don't perform anywhere near as well as his hits. And while OT may have technically fallen off, he still uses his past fame to appear as a feature on other artists' songs or tour around the world like in Asia and Australia. He also appeared on season 8 of MTV's The Surreal Life alongside Chet Hanks and other celebrities. So honestly, things don't look too bad for him, and he's clearly made pretty good money off his 2 big songs. And while OT Genesis was able to use his hits to his advantage and continue touring, Sage the Gemini had a tougher time due to a few allegations. Sage the Gemini is a rapper who reached a decent amount of popularity, but is almost solely known by listeners for his song Gas Pedal. In 2008, Sage released his first song, You Should Know, on MySpace, which actually went kind of viral on the platform. It got 3 million views. After this initial success, Sage joined Black Money Music Group as well as the HBK Gang, since he was close friends with fellow rapper I Am Sue. Then in 2013, Sage released 2 singles that completely changed his career trajectory.
Gas pedal, gas pedal.
Okay. I don't remember this shit.
Those were the songs Red Nose
Yo, I'm bad with fucking names and shit. I won't lie to
Gas
you.
Pedal. Both of these tracks went platinum. The viral success gave Sage a spotlight, which led to a record deal with Republic Records. And then, in an attempt to keep the momentum rolling, in 2014, Sage released his debut studio album, Remember Me, which 7 years after its release reached gold. Although, to be fair, the reason it went gold was mostly because he had the two big singles on there. Many critics said the album lacked diversity, which made it all kind of blend together. Although, regardless, the album was received generally well, and later that year, Sage even landed a feature on Flo Rida's GDFR, or Going Down For Real. This
Yo, Flo Rida had a fucking run, boy,
song
back in the
peaked
day.
at number 8 on the Billboard Hot 100 and also went on to go quadruple platinum, which obviously is a pretty big accomplishment even as a feature. Sage the Gemini really is one of those rappers that's like, you kind of remember him from back in the day, and he was like he was kind of big at the time, but he doesn't really have anything like too memorable. And that's because after this, he started putting in more work behind the scenes, doing things like producing. But this is when things started to go downhill. Around this time, he gained some attention for dating singer, actress, and American Idol winner Jordan Sparks. The relationship ended after 10 months, and some wild info dropped which made things look pretty bad. For one, Sage first posted and pinned a long since deleted heartfelt paragraph following the breakup. Then, in a twist, he said the relationship was at first fake and just being pushed by his manager as a publicity stunt to sell his album. But then things got even weirder when a call between Sage and his ex-fiance leaked, where he mentioned wanting to stab Sparks.
Everything was fucking horrible. Like, that shit was fucking dumb. She got on my nerves. I want to stab her. Like, all the shit. Like, don't get me wrong. Like,
Why do people say this shit over a call, bruh? You know that shit, you can like...
she cool. She level-headed. She whatever. But, you know, but she's not no regular person. Like,
Boy, I won't lie though, after that dog shit, everyone gonna be moving different, bruh. You know, that man and shit that got leaked, bruh.
And obviously,
I won't
he
lie.
got some pretty negative
That shit
backlash for
crazy.
this. He even discussed the drama later on in 2020.
I'm saying, so out of respect for her, I don't talk about it. And out of respect for me, I don't talk about it. You know what I'm saying? I did some dumb shit though, I ain't gonna lie. But it wasn't as big as people thought it was, you know what I mean? But I do apologize for it. It was horrible. I'm grown now.
Although, while this was a pretty rough look, his image took another hit when he was accused of SA back in 2015. However, there is no public record as to if she won the lawsuit or not, so it is hard to tell how things really worked out. Regardless though, this really hurt his music career. After about a 3-year hiatus from releasing music, he finally got back to the studio and dropped his 2017 debut mixtape Morse Code. The tape did include his gold single Now and Later, which blew up with the help of a Snapchat filter.
I can be a lifesaver. Treat me like a jawbreaker.
But apart from the Snapchat,
Yo, I look back in some of the shit that was happening back in the day, bruh. That shit is fucking lame, boy. I won't lie to you.
song, the project got significantly less traction than his prior releases. Since the mixtapes dropped, Sage has put out around 30 different works, including singles, remixes, features, and music videos. But unlike a lot of his early stuff, none of these have seemed to really get much attention. And while he's still been able to land some pretty major features from artists like Chris Brown, the plays just aren't really coming in like they used to. He continued his career as normal though, still holding together a smaller fan base. At least that was until another recent SA allegation coming out in 2024.
God damn, just what the fuck, boy? How do you not learn it?
Which
sir?
apparently happened back in 2017. This time, the
Oh,
assault
shit.
allegedly happened at Chris Brown's house, and after the
Makes sense. Makes 100% makes sense, boy.
non-consensual act, Sage apparently made his victim sign an NDA. The whole story came out from TMZ, but went
Yo, the fucking woman that I see posting Chris Brown need to fucking kick themselves head. Like on some real shit, bruh. I see, as soon as I see some shit like that on IG, someone posting Chris Brown like a girl posting Chris Brown, unfollow, bruh. I don't want to deal with that shit, boy. That type
further
of
viral
that
when the
crazy,
alleged
bruh.
victim uploaded a TikTok explaining everything, which got 4.8 million views. In response, Sage took to social media denying these allegations. And while the story blew up pretty big and an official police report was filed, Sage has not faced any legal repercussions, and apparently the police aren't even conducting an official investigation. So it seems like his allegations paired with just the repetitive music led to his big single not having too many massive follow-ups. And while Sage the Gemini's career was short-lived, Made in Tokyo was able to make his last. Made in Tokyo, like others on this list, is a name you
Oh, even this motherfucker had a run out on the though. Was it a one-hit wonder? I remember a couple songs.
Probably have not heard in a while. This is because he blew up mainly from his song Uber Everywhere back in 2016, and since then has only had a few songs reach even half close to as big as his first hit. Made in Tokyo was actually born in Honolulu, Hawaii, but grew up in a military family, so he moved around all over and spent a decent chunk of his childhood living in Tokyo. Although after moving around to all these places, he eventually
Hold on. Because I don't think Uber Everywhere was even like his best shit. Was it Mr. Tokyo? Hold on. How the fuck am I getting type? Or cause I typed it. No, it wasn't that shit.
Halloween, give me the beat I eat. My shawty bad, you seen it. Smoking out.
I think it was that. What the fuck?
Calling sweater, she be in the way.
No, it definitely wasn't Uber Everywhere, but I had to just check. Was he a little lemonade shit?
Lemonade, just flood my wrist. I get bored too.
Damn boy, maybe Messi will fucking
settled with his older
his,
brother, who is an artist named
remember
24
which one it
Hours
was.
in Atlanta. Tokyo's older brother formed a collective, which he also joined alongside a few other underground artists. Around this time, Tokyo also met Metro Boomin, who he ended up collaborating with on some projects, which gave him some pretty strong connections in the music business. Soon after this, though, everything would change for him because apparently he was chilling in the kitchen with his mom and recorded his hit song Uber Everywhere. And I guess the chorus was spontaneous as well.
Oh, my brother was like, yo, I'm about to hop in Uber, I'm gonna call you
boy.
back. So I felt like that was the ultimate
time?
flex because people always complain about, yo, I spent so much on Uber today.
At first, Tokyo really didn't even think of releasing the track. That was until a day later when he listened back to it and realized how catchy it was. After being released, the song peaked at number 51 on the Billboard Hot 100 and eventually went double platinum. Uber Everywhere was featured on his first mixtape, You Are Forgiven, which also contained his second hit, I Want, featuring 2 Chainz, which also went platinum. With 2 platinum tracks
Hold on. I checked I Want there.
on his first album, things were looking pretty good for him. Back then, he was actually like one of my favorite artists. I love this whole project. He even got a Uber
I want no foreign little bitch. Ay, she put it all in her mouth. I want it, so I'ma go get it. I want it, so I'ma go get it.
I ain't gonna lie, I can't remember.
Everywhere remix with Travis Scott. About a month after the release of this mixtape, which had both of his early hits, it felt as if Tokyo couldn't miss as he released another big song, Skateboard P. Again, not really a one-hit wonder, more like a 2 or 3 hit wonder, but you know what I mean. This song even got a remix with Big Sean. Although after this hit, this is when the momentum began to slow down, as from this point on, Tokyo struggled to reach platinum status again. His following mix
I have to get this shit, nigga.
Switch. Bling blow, ooh, chains on skateboard P. Bling blow, ooh, chains on skateboard P. Yeah, go.
Fuck it.
tape Thank You Mr. Tokyo and EP 24 Hours in Tokyo were received well, which aided him in being listed as one of the top 5 most streamed new artists of 2016 on Spotify.
I actually
All
don't
this
think it was
success
Tokyo,
also
bro.
landed him a spot on the 2017 XXL freshman class list, alongside artists like A Boogie, Playboy Cardi, Ugly God, X, and more. After this, in 2018, Tokyo released his first album's lead single, Ned Flanders, which featured the rapper ASAP Ferg, and it looked like it might have been his next hit, but it didn't go quite as big as his previous song. The next year, he struck gold again with his single Chuck E. Cheese, but after this, things started to slow down a bit. Even with features from big artists like J Balvin, Young Nudy, and Ty Dolla $ign in 2020 on his second studio album, Tokyo struggled to get the same numbers he once had. Lots of fans of his were vocal about how much they liked the new stuff, but it just wasn't enough for the mainstream. After this, he released a bunch of singles as well as another couple of albums, although again, while performing decently and receiving decent reception, they just didn't go as crazy as his old stuff. Nowadays, Tokyo still makes music with his unique Japanese influence, performing at colleges and also working a lot in the production side of music. So in the end, while he may not be receiving the same level of attention, he's still doing his thing for a pretty dedicated fan base. And while Made in Tokyo was able to make his career work for a bit, Ayo and Teo had a tougher time. Also lately, I've been drinking a lot of these White Monsters, not sponsored, but they're the best, right?
I can't drink this monster. without somebody telling me how bad it is. You think I don't know, XA? I already bought it in. What you want me to do to fucking refund it, XA? I opened it, some drinking, let me fucking drink it, XA. I know how bad it is, XA. I still bought it. Leave me the fuck alone, XA.
But it's had me a little bit concerned about my heart health. So I made a doctor's appointment, right? Between finding a good provider and taking the time to actually call just to be put on hold, it took forever. And even after all that, they didn't have any availability for like 9 months. It was crazy. Heart problems are the #1 cause of death in the United States, so I've always wanted to make sure to take care of mine, as I even have family members that have suffered from heart issues. And that's why I'm grateful for today's sponsor, ZocDoc. ZocDoc is a special. It's go-to in a healthy man. Ayo and Teo probably brings back some nostalgic memories for you, especially with their hit song Rolex, which dropped back in 2017. But since then, the pair has pretty much dropped off the map. The two brothers grew up in Michigan, first rising to fame as dancers. They use social media platforms like Vine, Instagram, and YouTube, and that's how they began to go viral. At first, dancing was their main form of content. Their first early dance trend was called the reverse. Their popularity skyrocketed though in 2016 when they began posting clips that showcase not only their dancing talent but their personalities. This led to them having a super loyal fan base before they even put out any music. However, all of this changed in 2017 following the release of their first track, Rolex. With its catchy hook and minimalist beat, the song became a hit, peaking at number 20 on the Billboard Hot 100 chart and going double platinum. Since its release, the music videos even joined the billion views club on YouTube. But what really helped this track blow up was the accompanied dance that they made up for it.
What's up, Ayo? I'm Teo. We're Ayo and Teo. We're about to show y'all how to do the Rolex challenge.
How that shit go? Can't even remember, bro. Some shit like that, boy.
The success of the song even led to television appearances, performances at award shows, and collaborations with major artists in the industry like Usher and Chris Brown. Following this blow up, the boys moved to Atlanta to pursue their music careers and even signed a deal with Columbia Records later that year. So while dancing is what blew them up, seeing what they reached with their new song, they wanted to keep trying music. Although unlike many artists who capitalize on viral success by releasing albums or extended plays, Ayo and Teo's discography was pretty limited. Aside from a few follow-up singles, the duo didn't maintain a consistent output of new music. Their slower release schedule even led some fans to question whether they were still actively pursuing music careers. What made things worse was that even in the follow-up songs to Rolex that they did release, the duo struggled to replicate the same level of success. While songs like Us and Hold My Sauce gained some attention with their fanbase, they didn't achieve similar mainstream traction. So rather than solely focusing on music, they continued to do content creation. This did help them maintain their relevance with their fans, but it also indicated a shift in their priorities. Early on in their peak, they were seen on almost every hip-hop publication, being featured in award shows and interviews, but as time passed, they began to fade away. In the years following Rolex, at multiple points the duo appeared to be taking breaks or even splitting through suggestive, ambiguous messaging on social media. They still put out some singles, but struggled to reach their prior level of commercial success. Some fans theorized that it was label issues because they do apparently have a ton of unreleased music, but this
it's always fucking label issues, bro.
This was never officially confirmed. However, regardless of the ups and downs, in 2020, the duo made it on TV with their show called The Sauce. In the show, they were tasked with finding dancers that were next up across America, with Usher judging talent in the end. Although the show ended after just one season, following the collapse of its host platform, Quibi. I don't know if you guys remember Quibi. I kind of want to make a video on that too, so let me know if you're interested in the comments. But aside from their show, since then, they've mostly stuck to posting on YouTube and TikTok, where they have a decent sized audience. But they're
1 month, 23K, 4 weeks, 9.8K. That dance videos also
nowhere near where they once were. So while it does look like they've maintained enough relevance to keep things going, Ayo and Teo likely won't reach the same highs they once had. And Ayo and Teo weren't the only ones to have a viral dance song. Unlike others on this list, you might not even recognize the name I Love Memphis. However, you've definitely heard his hit song Hit the Quan, which dropped back in 2015. Memphis first got his start on social media.
I never fucking thought of him for years before this, hearing his name now, but I know who that is, bruh.
Under the username Straight Outta Memphis on Instagram, but he wasn't in the music game. At first, he actually started building up his following through posting modeling content, then later moved on to making comedy videos as well. Eventually, he reached around 72,000 followers, which is when he started moving away from the funny videos. At this point, he started making money by hosting and promoting parties, and through those parties, he grew his followers and also made a lot of connections. And by surrounding himself with the party life, Memphis realized the potential opportunity making music. Through his connections, he linked up with Miami Mike, who was was Soulja Boy's manager and started making music. And within less than a year in the music game, Memphis went on to put out his smash hit debut single, Hit the Quan. This dance song was originally performed by Rich Homie Quan, and at first it got popular on Vine.
R.I.P. boy.
At that time, most people just referred to the dance as simply the Rich Homie Quan dance.
God
But 3
damn.
months after Rich Homie Quan popularized the trend with the music video for his song Flex, Memphis released his song titled Hit the Quan. The song allegedly cost him only $35 to produce, and it went viral on a whole nother level than Rich Homie's and eclipsed the original trend completely. The dance craze dominated social media with tons of people creating their own rendition. All this hype even got the music video to an impressive 91 million views. It pushed Hit the Quan to number 15 on the Billboard Hot 100 and even went platinum. After the massive success of this song, I Love Memphis was even invited on Ellen to perform the dance.
Here to perform his viral
That was like, I remember back in the day, boy, that was like an achievement to get on Ellen, bro. You feel like you got on Ellen, you feel like you made it, bro. 100%. What's like the trends that happened this year, bro? We got Pink Sauce Laney would have went on Ellen. Tyler would have went on Ellen already. Who else? Maria the Sciences maybe would have went on. Young Thug would have 100% went on Ellen. So Young Thug, how was it being locked up and all your calls getting leaked and shit like that? Boy, she asked like that dumbest question.
I Love Memphis.
When asked, do you consider yourself a musician in an interview with Fader, Memphis spoke on his role in the music game in a surprising way, saying, I'm an entertainer. A lot of people are like, what song are you going to put out next? But I'm much more worried about what I'm going to do next. My goal is to just be the biggest I can be. It's about showcasing my
Lil Tay would have 100% went on Ellen. No.
talents, and it's about being the best I can by using
Any internet shit would have
music
went
as
on
a
Ellen,
stepping
bro.
stone. It's
Like,
not even about music.
trend,
This surprised a lot of people, but it revealed a lot about his thoughts on the music game and what would come in the future. Because after Hit the Quan, his impact in the music game fell drastically. Later that year in 2015, Memphis put out his second song, Lean and Dab, which performed alright, but nowhere near his first drop. He also was even able to sign a record deal and go on tour with his music and dances in 2016. However, a few months before he first dropped Hit the Quan, something bad was going on behind the scenes. Early in 2015, Memphis was charged for allegedly participating in a gang rape of a woman who was under the influence. While he denied the charges and planned on fighting them, the
what the fuck?
accusation came at a time early in his rise when his image was new and very impressionable. As years went by, he continued to release musical projects with little success and the case hanging over him. In 2017, the charges were eventually dropped as DNA evidence allegedly proved him innocent, but the damage to his career was already done. Memphis said, "It cost me $100,000. You know, it cost me a lot of money paying lawyers, endorsement deals, losing out on money, having people book me for shows and then coming back and saying they can't go through with it." While the accusations definitely damaged his career significantly, it wasn't the only reason, because in reality, most people just didn't really want to listen to new music from him. At this point, he hasn't even posted a new song on his YouTube since 2022, and it doesn't look like much will change. As I mentioned with the foreshadowing earlier, Memphis always believed he was more of an entertainer than a musician, and while music got him his big break, it was never really what he wanted to do. Nowadays, he posts more as a lifestyle influencer, getting pretty significant views on TikTok among his fans. But again, this attention is nowhere near his peak. And after being arrested in 2022 for disorderly conduct and not putting out music for a couple of years, it seems Memphis won't be doing much in the music game and will probably stick to the influencer grind. So I Love Memphis may have fell off a bit, but Zay Hilfiger still has had some virality, although it might not be for the best reason. Zay Hilfiger and Zayon McCall, like everyone else on this list, are really known for one song, and also like many others on
I remember I did a whole performance for the shit in school, boy, in primary
this
school.
list. It was a dance
I did a whole dance for this motherfucker. No.
song called Juju on that beat. Hilfiger started his career
This thing was running shit back in the day, boy. And during break, you'll check everyone dollar in a dance, boy.
posting on social media where he made raps, dances, and comedic skits. With his online presence, he was able to land a couple of local shows where he got the attention of a film producer, Timothy McCall. Through working with Timothy, Zay Hilfiger met Timothy's son, James McCall, who rapped under the alias Zayon. The two started working on music together and eventually created the hit song Juju on That Beat. At first, this song only got around 18,000 views, but then a month later it was re-released and out of nowhere received around 45 million views. The song, which apparently only took them 5 minutes to make, quickly took off as a dance trend. In just a few weeks, it shot up to number 5 on the Billboard Hot 100.
No, it wasn't fucking primary school, it was high school, bro.
And eventually went double platinum, taking these guys from nowhere to mainstream very quick. Soon after its initial growth, Atlantic Records signed them and their song to a deal, capitalizing on its virality. A big part of what made Juju on That Beat blow up was the dance being recreated online. The trend was so popular that people as big as LeBron and Shaq posted their own versions. The music video, which was later uploaded, soared even higher than previous releases, reaching around 490 million views. At this point, Zay Hilfiger and Zayon were 16 and 17, and they had already made it on Ellen, Good Morning America, and Disney. So with all of this time ahead of them and a record deal,
Fuck Disney came from, bro.
it seemed like they were going to the moon. But what followed was not quite the case.
Fuck Disney gotta do with Juju on That Beat.
Almost immediately after their blow up, the duo unofficially split, apparently following an argument on Instagram Live. However, while they did claim to be cool, as a duo they never ended up making another song together and decided to pursue individual careers. About a year after his blow up, Hilfiger faced multiple allegations, including alleged domestic assault on his girl.
God damn, what's wrong with you, all these motherfuckers, bruh? Even fucking Silento, bro. I'm surprised you don't got Silento in this, man. I think it is in the previous one. Hey, what's happening here, bro?
Girlfriend,
Everyone got legal shit.
who ended up getting a restraining order against him. And he also apparently assaulted his roommate on multiple occasions, at one point with a fire extinguisher. In the months and years following, Hilfiger posted a ton of songs and remixes, none of which got the same attention. But even then, at least some of his songs would break 100,000 views. Although this also slowly died out as time went by and he posted less and less on his YouTube. He eventually started vlogging, and one of his first attempts, ironically, was a video titled WTF Happened to Zay Hilfiger. Vlogs were not the only thing he branched off to. As you may remember, he went viral for starting an OnlyFans. Ironically enough, it
Where the fuck that came from?
got him kicked off Instagram and Twitter.
Wasn't it the Disney? What is Disney wanted to work with this?
But this was a classic Hail Mary cash grab.
And I ain't gonna
Oh,
lie.
you work for
living in
you.
a mansion with don't need the lights.
What I'm interested in went from working at Disney to OF. That's a crazy pipe.
Global, Lil Pump, money, you know, on a good road to getting all the way down to living on Inglewood, you know, stuff like that. But one thing my supporters always was like, you know, what happened? Like, what is this? Like, did you go broke? And I'm gonna be honest, I wasn't broke as my OnlyFans wasn't for to say, oh, I'm sexy and I know it. It was more like, I'm trying to get paid so I can release these music videos and then I can do this with y'all. But I didn't want to come on here and take money from y'all.
And this whole adult content venture somewhat broke the internet for a bit. All of this wildness even ended up with Adam22 having Zay on himself.
The market. But
Of course, but
You were getting pegged on there too, right?
not at first.
Not at first, but you did do that, right?
Right after all that.
And to make things even crazier, Hilfiger at this point is fully locked in
please don't tell me this is where it's going, bro.
on the OnlyFans grind, as he appeared again with Adam22, but
Please don't tell me this is going where I think it's going, bro.
this time on Plug Talk.
We should get him on Plug Talk. We can't just let that hog go to waste.
And yes, they did end up doing a scene together,
This nigga Adam needs some help, boy.
which is a crazy arc going from Juju on That Beat kid to doing adult content with Adam22. Around this time, it's really funny, he actually joined my stream and paid to submit a song. It's like a few years ago, and yeah, we talked. He was actually a really nice guy. He's still subscribed to the channel, so shout out to Zay Hilfiger. As for Zayon McCall, he pretty much went the exact opposite route. After the split following the dispute over who the star was on Juju on That Beat, Zayon created some new music but slowed down much earlier. And aside from a new song called Rage that he put out in 2023, it's pretty hard to find any trace of him online. So like many of the other viral dance song artists on this list, it seems like the music career didn't really pan out for the two. If you're interested in learning about other one-hit wonders like Silento, Designer, and many more, feel free.
Do that shit in the previous one. Damn, what's the motherfucking name? CJ. Bro, bro dropped one shit, got exposed for being a fake gangster, and never dropped another shit again, boy. Shout out to Matty Balls for the video, boy. Always fire, bro. You know, you don't miss.